Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about a weird food Russians eat. A lot of those dishes are, even for me, a little bit extreme. I mean, I personally not a fan, or I have to be really in the mood for it to even have it. And it's, for a lot of Americans, they don't get it. It's very, it's very weird. As you guys know, I do my big Russian Christmas dinner every year for my friends, and I cook about 15 to 17 Russian dishes, different kind of food. And out of all the lists I'm gonna name today, I only serve two. Some Americans love it, some Americans hate it. I'm gonna be very specific about those dishes. So the first dish is pickled herring. It's basically a raw pickled fish. It's very salty, and we basically pickle it, and it's very fishy. And we serve it, chunks of it, with usually potatoes and raw onions. You slice it with big chunks, and you put some fresh onions on top, and you serve it with hot potatoes. Usually you boil the potatoes, put some sunflower oil on top.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
I can eat that. Not every day, but that's one of the dishes I grew up with, and I love that. A lot of my friends from America hate it. The next one I'm going to talk about is herring under the fur coat.
A what?
Which is a traditional Russian salad. If you don't like herring, you're not gonna like this one either, because this salad has herring in it. It's basically a layer of chopped pickled herring, a layer of fresh onions, a layer of carrots, a layer of potatoes, and a layer of beets. And you put mayonnaise on top. It's almost like a cake. It's like a herring cake. Again, very traditional Russian dish. You serve for holidays. I serve that at my Christmas dinner party. And some Americans love it and eat a lot of it. And again, some Americans think it's very gross. And they actually have a video of one of my best friends trying it, and see the reaction. It's very funny.
I like them.
Ah,
It's really good. Really nice.
Wow.
You want one more?
those are all now.
Because they don't eat caviar.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll have another one. Thank you.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
The next one is sallow. So sallow is basically a raw pig fat. It's basically a chunk of a belly, like a pork fat. Pure fat, right? There is, like, in America, there is bacon, there's like a little, there's the meat layers, and there's like the white layer. This is a pure, raw chunk of white fat. You freeze it, you slice it like butter, and you put it on bread, and you eat it. I have to be in the mood for it, but also, like, when it's frozen, it does taste like butter. It has a little seasoning, it's like a little smoky. And with the bread, it's not horrible. If it's on the table for a while and it gets like soft and warm, it's very gross. It's basically like a worm, a chunk of fat on your bread. And when you try to bite it, it's very chewy. So you gotta really you have to like really rip it apart with your teeth.
Oh no. Oh no.
That I don't like. That's very, very extreme, and it's just basically a chunk of fat you chewing with the bread. Yeah, that's I have to be in the mood for. And if I don't have to do this for the rest of my life, I will be okay with it. That's why I never serve that at my Russian Christmas, because I know that only Russians will eat that, and because I don't like it, I don't want to, put it on the table, because it's very nasty. The next one is going to be liver. Russians love liver, and it's so cheap here. When I moved here, I went to the store, and you can buy like a container of the chicken livers for like $1, like $1.50. It's so cheap, and it's easy to make, and it's, it's good for you. A lot of Americans think it tastes like dirt. which I can get that, but again, I grew up with that. You know, my grandma would make that, my mom would make that, so I grew up with like eating liver and onions. Another very popular dish that a lot of Americans think it's weird to have like liver. But just randomly, I would go to a restaurant and my best friend loves liver and onions, so we all would get the same thing, and it's just, I can eat it anytime.
What is wrong with you?
The next one is caviar. Again, caviar is very specific for a lot of people. A lot of Americans, I know some Americans that are obsessed with it, and I know a lot of Americans that can't eat that stuff either because it's very salty and it's very fishy. So caviar is basically fish eggs. When you taste it, it's like a little bubbles, right? And when you eat them, they just burst in your mouth with like the fishy, very salty flavor.
That's just gross.
I love it. It's very like, my family will only have it for like New Year's Eve or like maybe like we will get it like once or twice a year because it's very expensive and not every single family can afford to have caviar. We usually serve it on bread with butter and caviar on top. You can also serve it with crepes. I prefer like a nice Russian bread with butter and caviar on top, and you eat it like a little bites of it. It's very good. I love caviar. I can eat it with a spoon. Just give me a container of it and I just eat that whole thing, the whole container with a spoon, and just have a little bread and I'm good. A lot of my friends had to try it for the first time and they had to spit it out because it was a little extreme for them, too much, and those are the things like, you know, it's not for everybody. Another weird one that Russians eat a lot is beef tongue. Again, not for me. I've had it. I remember like when I was growing up, every time we had a holiday, big table, we always had a sliced beef tongue on the table. I was never fan of that one. It's actually not bad. I've had it before, and it's almost like the sliced meat, and it's very soft and tender. I guess I just couldn't pass the fact that I'm having a tongue. And you know, Russians boil it and they slice it on a plate. They slice it, put it on the plate, and usually put like a little bit of horseradish on it or Russian mustard, and you eat it. To me, it's just weird. Tongue, weird. And finally, the last one. The last one is my least favorite, so I saved it to the last because I cannot stand it. It's something I would always avoid when I was a child, and I could never eat that. It's holodets. Holodets is basically a jelly meat. Americans call it aspic. It's basically a jelly dish with meat inside. I'm sorry, this is something that my grandma used to make and my mom used to make, and I just couldn't, I cannot eat that stuff. And it jiggles. When you serve them, you cut a little slice of it, and even on your plate, you know, when you have a bite with the fork, it jiggles on your fork. It's like it's moving. It's almost like having its own life there on your fork. That shit is nasty. I still to this day cannot eat that holodets aspect jelly meat thingy. It's so gross. That's it, you guys. I just have to share this with you because it just crossed my mind that there are certain foods that are very difficult to eat. And here we go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I will see you soon. Mwah.